Hello, and welcome to the Technology Transfer Workshop. Thanks for attending. My name is Phil Roof, and I'm the Technology Transfer Coordinator for the university. I'm also a faculty member in the School of Engineering Technology and Program Coordinator for the Undergraduate Product Design and Development Program. Since May of 2007, I've been on full-time release serving as a Technology Transfer Coordinator. My release time has been funded in part by a grant awarded to Michigan Tech by the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, also referred to as MEDC. I report to Brian Anderson, Director, Office of Research Development, and I work with Karen Charter, Associate Director, Office of Research Development. Today I want to provide an overview of tech transfer at Eastern, including the university's technology transfer policy and an overview of UTeamed. We'll talk more about UTeam later. However, for now, UTeam is a collaboration of 4 universities: Michigan Tech, Oakland, Central, and Eastern, with Michigan Tech as the lead institution. To begin with, what is technology transfer, or simply tech transfer? Tech transfer, also known as technology commercialization, is the transfer of university-developed innovations into the marketplace for the benefit of the community, general public, and university. While the university receives royalties for technology it licenses, the royalties are split with the inventor or inventors. We'll cover the specifics on royalty splitting a little later. However, the university's share of the royalty is used to support the university's research and tech transfer mission. Licensing revenue can be used to pay for patent costs, research support, etc. The first and foremost goal of technology transfer is innovation and its dissemination. Think of where we would be if university innovations were not transferred for the public good. For example, think of all the medical advances from drugs to medical devices to diagnostic testing that have made our lives better and longer. Many of those are the result of university tech transfer. The revenue generation resulting from technology licensing perpetuates the research and tech transfer process. Tech transfer is by no means a self-sustaining activity. Very few tech transfer offices, if any, can claim self-sustainability. So tech transfer requires ongoing support and is part of the research mission of the university. Commercialization resources and opportunities are available to EMU faculty, students, and employees. To date, most of the tech transfer activity has involved faculty from the College of Technology, with some involvement from arts and sciences. In the past year, we have had 2 invention disclosures from students, one from a technology PhD student and the other from a mechanical engineering technology capstone course. We certainly welcome invention disclosures from anyone at the university. Next, let's talk about what's the difference between an idea and an invention. An idea is a problem statement, whereas an invention is the solution to the problem. Many people see problems or needs to solve in everyday life. For example, I just saw a small business selling a device to record commercial-free music from an FM radio station and then download it onto an MP3 player. The company started when the owner's father could download music to his MP3, which was a gift a few years earlier. The idea was to make it easier for older people to download music to their MP3. The invention was the device that actually does it. The solution to the problem can take the form of several different embodiments, such as, but not limited to, computer code, prototype, chemical formulation, electronic schematic, and/or sketch. Now, in addition to the problem solution, another key part of tech transfer is intellectual property protection, or IP protection. The primary form of IP protection we deal with at the university is patents. However, copyright protection is also possible. To date, we haven't run into a situation requiring copyright protection. Let me explain what patents and copyrights are. A patent is granted to any person who invents or discovers any new and useful process, machine, manufacture, or composition of matter, or any new and useful improvement to those. A copyright protects a creative work fixed in a tangible medium. For example, music, video, text, computer code, sculptures, pictures. Patents protect functionality, whereas copyrights protect the expression. For example, many software titles, such as Adobe, for example, patent the functionality of the software and copyright the actual code. So why patent something? Well, a patent is a property right to exclude others from making, using, offering for sale, or selling the invention throughout the United States, or importing the invention into the United States for a limited time. The period of protection is 20 years from the filing date. Since 2007, EMU has filed approximately 10 patent applications based on technologies disclosed to the university from faculty and students. It's important to remember patents don't guarantee sales or licenses. It's simply a right to exclude others from doing so. And it's also important to remember that protection is only good for the country in which you have the patent. For example, a U.S. patent will not prevent others from making and or selling your invention outside the United States. There are also some practical and legal considerations we need to discuss. The first topic is the Bayh-Dole Act of 1984. Under Bayh-Dole, all universities have an obligation to commercialize, if possible, the results of federally funded research. Contrary to some opinions, federal funding does not require inventions to be public domain. The Bayh-Dole Act helps to ensure that research results will be used for the public good through commercialization. Given a project is federally funded, the university has the option of retaining title to the invention. This means the university owns the intellectual property. Should the university elect not to retain title, the title to the intellectual property reverts back to the federal funding agency. If that happens, in some cases, it's possible for the inventor to request title from the agency. In sponsored research, the university typically owns what faculty create and then will exclusively license the technology back to the sponsoring company. Depending on who invents what, EMU may be a sole owner of the technology or a joint owner. For example, if the inventive activity is shared between the sponsor and university, then there would be joint ownership between the sponsor and the university. Let's talk for a few minutes about different types of research and the role of tech transfer. Tech transfer is really appropriate for technology that has commercial potential and technology the university can own, meaning patent or copyright protect. It needs to be technology someone is willing to pay for. Now, both applied research and basic research can generate commercially viable technology. Applied research solves a specific industrial problem, whereas basic research helps answer fundamental questions. The commercial potential of basic research results may not be obvious. It's part of my job to find commercial applications. For example, studying how plant cell walls form may have an application in biofuels, for example. Commercial viability is determined by the Office of Research Development in conjunction with U-Teamed and myself. Now, it's best to disclose your research results and technology even if you don't think they have commercial potential. You'd be surprised where your technology may find applications. For example, what may be a useful teaching tool may have a niche in home remodeling, for example. Some examples of commercially viable technology include computer software, inventions, techniques, materials, processes, videos, other technology, and improvements to existing technology. Okay, let's say you're conducting a research project, or maybe even completed it, and you're not sure if the outcome has any commercial potential. When should you contact me? If you have technology to disclose, you should contact me preferably prior to a public, either oral or written, disclosure. This gives EMU an opportunity to put protection in place prior to your public disclosure. Now, public disclosures cause several things to happen. Number one, after a public disclosure, we lose foreign filing rights. Acquiring patent rights in foreign countries requires absolute novelty. Once you publicly disclose the technology, you can't file a patent application outside the U.S. Number two, 12 months after a public disclosure, we lose U.S. filing rights. So if you made a public disclosure, let's say an article or a conference presentation or poster, it's not too late to disclose the technology to the university. We can still get some protection in place and begin the commercialization process, provided 12 months has not elapsed since your initial public disclosure. With that said, the tech transfer process doesn't inhibit publication. I am not the publication police. EMU wants to protect your technology as best as possible without interfering with your scholarly agenda. And finally, please contact me if you are stuck in your research due to time, money, or equipment constraints. There's no guarantee I can help, but I may know of resources you don't. Or at least I can pass along your issues to ORD. In my experience, the most important key to success is communication. If a faculty member can articulate the value proposition, ORD usually does everything it can to help. The typical scenario is, my research is almost finished, the grant funding has run out or is running out. If I could get a little more money, my research could yield potentially viable technology that has an average or better than average chance of being commercialized. With that said, what steps should you follow? The tech transfer process starts with a faculty member, student, or employee submitting an invention disclosure to me. You should have an invention disclosure form in your packet today. I then log the disclosure and forward it to Brian Anderson at ORD and U-Teamed, which is essentially Michigan Tech. U-Teamed helped us assess the technology's commercial potential. Now, if the commercial potential is favorable, the inventor will assign their IP, intellectual property rights, to the university. EMU will then file a patent application and begin the licensing process. Let's talk for a few minutes about EMU's technology transfer policy. The Technology Transfer Policy Committee initially met on January 27, 2005. The committee was comprised of Brian Anderson from ORD, John Duggar, College of Technology, Mariana Laporte, Department of Biology, Ken McCanders, EMU Legal Affairs, Susan Moeller, Department of Accounting and Finance, Don Snyder, Department of Chemistry, Denise Tangway, College of Business, and John Texter, School of Engineering Technology. The policy, which was approved by the Board of Regents in June 2007, is intended to expedite technology transfer and the dissemination of useful knowledge. Number two, it's there to protect and balance rights of faculty inventors, research sponsors, the university, and the public. We want to make sure that no one in the research process is taken advantage of, and that the public can actually benefit from the research. Number three, support and stimulate additional research and inventions. And number four, prevent improper exploitation of inventions and inventors and abuse of new information. The policy is about helping inventors, protecting inventors, and ensuring proper dissemination for technology for the benefit of all. We've talked a lot about what tech transfer is and how it works. Now let's define who owns the technology. According to the tech transfer policy, faculty own what they create outside of sponsored research. The university owns what faculty create as a result of sponsored research, unless otherwise indicated by the research agreement. Right now, there is only a policy covering faculty. Students and employees own what they create, assuming they didn't receive significant support from the university. The big question is, what is sponsored research? Sponsored research, as defined by the tech transfer policy, is research conducted at EMU facilities, funded or otherwise supported at a level beyond a faculty member's normal duties. It's research for which a faculty member receives from the university additional salary, research award, release time, sabbatical leave, and/or spring-summer research award. It's research that is funded by a research grant, agreement, contract, or research award administered by the university. What's in this for the inventors? The royalty distribution is as follows. The net income after expenses, up to $10,000, all goes to the inventor. The next $240,000 is split 55% to the inventor, 45% to the university. And finally, more than $250,000, 45% goes to the inventor, 55% goes to the university. For the final segment of the workshop, let's talk more about U-Teamed, what it is, and how it works. I mentioned U-Team earlier in the presentation, and now's a good time to provide more details. U-Team stands for the University Technological and Expertise Assets Management for Enterprise Development Project. It's a collaboration between Michigan Tech, Oakland, Central, and Eastern, with Michigan Tech leading the project. The project began in September of 2004 with partial funding from a grant through the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. The project was intended to leverage complementary strengths of each partner institution to produce growth in sponsored research and technology transfer. Since neither Central, Oakland, or Eastern have technology transfer offices or experience, Michigan Tech would use its tech transfer experience and staff to mentor each of the three collaborating institutions. The goal for each institution is to have its own functioning technology transfer office, or at least a functioning program. Michigan Tech has been extremely valuable in helping EMU collect invention disclosures, assess technology, file patent applications, and negotiate license agreements. It's been analogous to the relationship between children and parents. Just as children need help in responding to new situations and scenarios, EMU needs help in responding to new situations and scenarios in the tech transfer process. Now, individually, the four institutions are relatively small as compared to the big three institutions or URC schools, such as Michigan Wayne and Michigan State. URC stands for University Research Corridor. However, as shown, working collectively, our numbers, with the exception of research expenditures, are relatively comparable. Now, Michigan Tech as the lead institution provides a supportive role that includes commercial opportunity assessment, development planning, protection strategies, licensing strategy negotiation, and sponsored research negotiation. Michigan Tech's background includes a tech transfer office that was established in 1987, 3 licensing staff, about 40 invention disclosures per year, about 8 licenses per year, and about $450,000 in royalties per year. That concludes our overview of tech transfer at EMU. There are certainly more details than we had time to cover in the workshop. However, I think we had adequate time to present the basics of what tech transfer is, how it works at EMU, and the opportunities for faculty, students, and employees. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to meet with people individually or in groups. I'm also available to meet with students or classes to discuss intellectual property and licensing. Thanks.